Right, I will be a quaba about sports arena, a brass society, Nasena Fay, Yadia good moon sem at the bro, now good moon semino, a crown before so will be disca. Yes, a crown before so bed will be disca, and no Paris Saint Germain, party or yeah, and yeah, then you're fine. Paris Saint Germain, and you're fine. Cry, at least I was there to me 2 goose. Now, fee, boys, 8 to me at the first car, and road disturb a month for power because almost you declare said they want to go unbeaten. That is the clear indication. To be so unbeaten, there any lineup no yeah, and the never so to me they win. Chances are I'm ranting and says and Yasen Kutua. I 1-1 normally Nantis boy, and they Yedimunchi Munibe de bro. Andra Aston Villa ne a year Manchester City. It appeared say na a draw answer last minute and a pine. And a City for no a pick or the maximum a 3-pointer and a omako that 3rd position for in a time being because in a Newcastle and so any Nottingham Forest games outstanding games or so mobile now for BBR to me say the race for a top 4 no and our top 5 no a yeminya nyasem keto akra jibe head ye bekwa kusi na BBR so no etumi akoye nra. Make my catch say I've never seen some before. Me who be da. Barcelona game on it. Bobo ko friend of my boy no. I've never seen some before. Tienie pa. Barcelona football 40 shots as against 4. Mayoka for boy. Na corners do Barcelona boy 13 corners. Barcelona ball 744 passes. And a shot on target here 12. 12 shot on target. Na tia goalkeeper ye freno Leo Roman or ye 24 years or ye 6'2" height or your right footer. The nationality Spain. Na Endra man ya nwade muntie nie pa 90 minutes and oboye or ye 6 makuma 12 or prevented 1.9 goals. There's a 2 goals I was say a clean was say now so abrante ne ye the prevent ye saves makuma 6 and or in the box. That is inside the box. And or punches 1. High claims 2. That's a high claims now most times high claims near ball I was say share. I was say shake. And you can keep a beer to me check. Now so abrante way to me Leo Roman. That is the reason why Barcelona share only 1 goal. It was Barcelona against goalkeeper friend. Leo Roman. Oh, hold on. You know, say Barcelona, I was 76 points after 33 games. Real Madrid, I was second with 69. Now, over 1 game or so, and then, on also Getafe and Ekwakobo. I'm telling you, say Getafe for almost so many bra. Go back ukra and to amonetimu. Getafe for no mu defend brutal. Inti eno enso no. Say the air batch say ene matches ni bi be dey be koso. On say Pope Francis efri mu no. And then outstanding games are now sanke baso on Monday. And then games ni be dey be koso. Parma any Juventus bebo. Genoa any Lazio, Cagliari any Fiorentina. And a bed and bebo ewo Italian country Serie A na Udinese so no. Ni Torino. Torino better if you know ni Udinese ide abo. Spanish La Liga. Atletico Bilbao any Las Palmas. Real Villarreal ebe kwa kopiemu no ne Celta Vigo abo. Celta Vigo na ebo home. ana ene Real Madrid ene Getafe enso be reda so Alaves ene Real Sociedad enso ebeboya Arsenal ene Crystal Palace bebo na nwumre yi nti hye no so pa ana Inter Milan ni AC Milan hye no so se first leg no eye Coppa Italia first leg no eye 1-1 nti return leg no koso Giuseppe Meazza no these are the games and no the 5 selected ni ya the Abreu na me no ka say papa ye friend no Karim Zito adi nkomo press conference na ba na wie ye wa kire se kotoko supporters na ntia say from now e kono de ball e fe de omuntu adwenum a resource because 6 games na ka with the league is a kotoko person omuji league ne dia ball e fe de omuntu adwenum win and all your team no be win ye be hwe sansem we mu na bibia tumi akonkan ho me no ka say the CAF school championship no koso na Ghana and Uganda na dey bo ani na Ghana share 1 Uganda ntumi say U15
yeah
and ene omo ball ho no ye de mu nchiremu be den bro my bet.africa and aso ya sen ubetwa bet ubedi bet na yetua oka na asumdua ba my bet and American for the amount register se a na fi etwen se ye di code nbe den bro Shanu se opese o join a Telegram account na sports arena SPORTS na what in table ARENA bomodi ana join here na bibia antumi konkan ye betumi so ma code no okokotwa mti amanya ne say my bet subscribers for no omo pe ticket no come my bet paper no first na ye twa no ye say my bet paper ade ya ne say ese kura na sebe untumi van ko toilet eza wo sabeti bi ko slim kakra na e light so paper na akono brutal na kura say na wo biem say na wo check ya efe kwa ese ma bet for no ebi mu gi code no online ye generate online code no mo de akọ my bet house first name adina e friend greenhouse cause near painting green so my bet colors na green and white to near friend greenhouse sanity nti join in Telegram account no sports arena na fe bibia ntumi koye show no betumi anya ewo my bet online radio uko ABN radio 1 ewo Facebook na street is watching ewo Facebook na no bi mu share ma say na my bet show no nya bi ma na because DJ Kwaku Slim ye twan na so da bi say ye ni DJ Kwaku Slim ho ebiem ye instrument fa obiem street is watching and I say odi obeko YouTube uko YouTube I know my bet.africa TV na fi oni ahwabo na bibia nso no atumi akoye honom register na fi bibia atumi koye na tienie pa my bet there presidential we kura omo de osba they are not afraid say obedi omo tienie pa eneme no ka say awon waso my bet aye ne say artist of the year my bet for the us ato omo so my bet the us side ato omo so na me artist ni de artist or no be wini in my books our ma second promise 2.5 Kimpaluta 2.5 Stoneboy 3 Kwaku Smoke 9 Black Sheriff 12 Anna Team Eternity 15 Anna Joe Metal 20 Moka say ye bi Joe Metal ne wini ye na obia ante pe ne say also wini ena obe wini ene all side ya man ye 20 Kim Promise 2.5 this year me twa making promise enti me ko pay 1000 na me de eguso na ma double me sika no me the 1000 to so a metumi anya emfaso 1005 na bonus and so about the count. Make me for so 2,000. I'm telling you, Kim promise be winning. So I also believe say Kim Paluta be winning. Also for good Kim Paluta achi. And access to one boy a 3 out of 3. Nyasem ketu akra. Inti die wo mu no. Na mame ko money ma ho na eni. Yemfa de akachi ni nyina mra. Ese my bet special combo bi aba. Nyasem ketu akra. Out of 20. Na eno e wo se money man echichim na fe ye hu de ekone de eba. Money man e ma akwa
Yeah, list to me so.
Now me new we me person me subscribe to my bet. Quite bet so na me first register.
Okay.
For me go through some process. Na fe packages am my bet what the mine no. Na fa to aso mine.
Okay, so we tie my bet there any platform a bibia opebia omo de be ma. Enu nti na wo artist of the year so na me ni age because any nim say e den say ebi mu pebo, ebi mu pe enwum. Nti se ni anipa ne pe enwum no. Artist of the year obetimi afan phone ato am artist of the year but saying obetimi a benefit say ni favorite person ni win ya enu nti na my bet de aba no. Nti ma me fa on for registration ye for registration ni ya na me do aba for artist of the year no. Ene kwan obetimi aye nti se ni a wo hwe we VGMs and TGMs no o hwe no na won so face ka go bottom nti se utie akọ www.mybet.africa platform ni bia FAE papa on the top right corner ubehu icon ho umia so abehu login and registration send your register into me registration so umia so the first step your phone number near number udie mobile money transactions into no the sa number ne share the next step your username the edin bia ebetimi aye wo full name ebetimi aye unique name edin bia ebe we ebe yi we free obi biara platform ne so into ene oboss our username now betimi the number account obi apeso use kwame opeso use kofi betimi the numbers account send be man unique the next thing password and know your password I will use make sure it's our password no udi shame and can't you be send you be intimi raw account mun ko eden enkotwu sika intifasa password ni to we are my bet for best and do verification code with verification code no be verify our account na afidie when your account on my bet into course our top right corner or now log in we are na afidie wire deposit na ye die we your friend is saying TGMs artist of the year nim adeba kwa my bet for the man list to on say artist be or artist of the year mama be an any odds into say a Kim promise 2.50 Kim Paluta so MI 2.50 Stoneboy MI 3 and a quick smoking so my 9 Joe Metal MI 20 send your boss no na artist of the year be do baby nim say Joe Metal bet me wini but ye be pon show no na Joe Metal na fine tisada no in my bet for the buy and no udi 20 or 10 out the 100 cedi square to each year what time 2000 and a coffee no into my bet platform cause specials ubehu TGMs artist of the year no now so the wogide woni mu so betimi afa artist of the year enye kasa keke enye se bia be kwotena baby akoko ne ho akoka sese ni se fiska to echi senya nipa ni wini a weni je no na wasan fiska ato bottom eno na MYBET.AFRICA ede my special side o senya American omo a special combis artist of the year ni wo omo other special combis omo a hihye bet e make sure say obetimi afiska omo hihye bet ni wi a na omo say boost odds no senya anka on normal wo hihye sa bet na ska obenya no enye sa no mom de mount mebo ba akoso ene omo say Arsenal win Villarreal win, Real Madrid win, and Inter Milan win. We should share bet we normal bet on MYBET.AFRICA. When ya 12 odds. Bene omo ma share on my 20 odds. Omo the 8 odds above a tie chairs and the amount. Into your special combi ho. Na your selections or now wait me then Africa on MYBET.AFRICA. Match see ambobo so episode try code no JQYY to throw. Ko shop na former cashier no ntwa or online na bet booking natural JQYY na unsu fetwa ot your match na 20 odds ya no eden o de kakra taichi a unsu betimi afiska MYBET.AFRICA omusi o maba eba be man scanti kwan bia so no de bia com platform no sine twa bet na unsu timi fiska MYBET.AFRICA
right to my bet dear no now yanko Enra games nim Enra games nim how crucial that last minute goal against Aston Villa was. I think I noticed that most of Chelsea supporters wanted a draw.
Yeah.
but I feel say if you check a year the point and answer the matches now kana City obviously stand a chance of qualifying because much cheaper a year we I think one difficult game no wabo no
yeah
there na any difficult game no so what onu win no no nye the enko there no more now no Aston Villa is still there. Chelsea wins the next game what I say so now who ye Aston Villa they had the fee equation. To me, I was happy with the results. How do you people see it?
Okay, Listo, with Indra game a course between Manchester City and Aston Villa, I think it was a game na no be say Aston Villa performance or madani di who are Newcastle. So going into a game against Manchester City, no be say at least Sir Champions League taste no munya with that crucial home game against Paris Saint-Germain team share goals in abomenti man qualifying about be a big boost going into this idea EPL for Tony the running making sure say they get into that particular Champions League spot available for 5 EPL clubs as home team. Indra was a good game. So shot any shot on target two teams in the boy. I think Manchester City was ahead of team friend Aston Villa playing at home at the Etihad. Ye name him saying after the game the way na Pep Guardiola in Nigeria say ultimately say yes baby edu na ba be a crucial moment City here every point available so mbeti media qualify but we expected goals any chances are a create here in the day I think in case Aston Villa team should 2 or more goals in the day omu create 3 big chances and me see mu 2 City create 3 and me say just 1 mu 2 it mean ekoye goal e ma team friend Manchester City we possession bibia City for bibia but on the night Unai Emery going into games about possession and he wants to dominate, but on the night, Manchester City Pep Guardiola boys no dominating game. I think the game was lost due to Unai Emery mistake. I think Asem Wemababe Kanwada. He has been making this mistake all over the season. Akwasena up to Indra etimi kwase no. That decisive right back position. Minim the coaches ebia biani on mate man kase meni omunye training. But I don't know why every coach from Pochettino to Enzo Maresca to Unai Emery person bo decisive right back. Mentiasie. Na Indro bi ohwe game no who say go Manchester City share from the build up from Jeremy Doku it was decisive. The moment unim say Jeremy Doku te hampo nim say the pace and the strong asset. Intino as a defender man kwan e mane nya na dwen use na ho odin ana the strongest assets there in the pace no MB2 into the moment that Jeremy Doku nya asa ball no the first thing I can say decisive and say so closing it down making sure say obekọ tackle that position no tackle now Messia is highly say another person ba be cover than trying to give him space say on set it up so be use that pace against you and in draw Utimisu that pace against this Asia. And now no no cross the ball to Matheus Nunes as I go need me by. Ndra uhwe social media be 3 years because Chelsea fans dey be soon. Say with the way this Asia cross Aston Villa no anya lucky and Aston Villa anya na adwen say on bet trigger any clause betimi betimi keep this Asia permanently. But I think Unai Emery on 2 occasions this have been a player. This Asia is a very fine player. And you say maybe make Casatiano. But he's a very fine player. But I think he's been played out of position. He's been limited to Nyama Bakumienu Ehano. But it was a good game. Share into the games and also the teams I expect to say they can get into that top 4 race. So Osha Man City Indra omuboard that crucial game against Aston Villa. The next games Wolves. Share Man City are writing it off. So the next games they are easy games to go by. But Wolves any easy game for Manchester City because Victor Pereira performance awadanidi taking Wolves in January. Now Wolves at the 19th and they will you make relegation. About the sport that they don't even think about relegation, but now they are even thinking about moving ahead of Man United, which recently share. So a game against Man City, say Victor Pereira so proving to the Wolves fans say enei obetimi a coach are going into next season on the betimi a hold the team no na next season top 10 and now top half of the table on betimi rema obetimi ewim. So this will be a crucial game. Man City Esambebo home. They will try to take advantage of that home support in Ebeban, but I think Wolves will give them a good fight. Other teams in the World League, Southampton, yes, they are already on relegation. Man City be walk over them. Bournemouth, and so a home game. This season, Bournemouth, Manchester City, wow, home. Into a return leg will be something. Bournemouth, person set a record. This will be the first time or be back to back over Manchester City. It will be a crucial game, and Fulham also a crucial game because Fulham episode Timira European sport, that is either the Conference League or the Europa League. This will be one game it will decide. So if your Man City games, apart from Southampton, I think Southampton are showing form because of more relegation area. Every game a crucial game Manchester City. Every team a point to do something. Apart from Wolves, America say maybe they just want to show off. But with Bournemouth, champions, Europa, any Conference League sport, Fulham the same thing. On also per Europa League anyway. You say Fulham this season no kon home outbreak. Liverpool akwa akolusu. Chelsea ko ye hu die ekosi ye. It took like the brilliance of Pedro Neto to secure 3 points for Chelsea. Into to be crucial games for Manchester City. You hear Aston Villa on the other hand, on also Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Man United. These are also strong crucial games. Intene who sen comfort say Aston Villa a team bia wanye lucky on me the Champions League because the 5 games are canon will lose against Man City. Fulham ewo ni home Villa Park. They will try to take advantage of that. Obeko Bournemouth away, which has been one of the difficult grounds in the Premier League. Now if they were called Tottenham home. Tottenham, even though say to be a game at Tottenham beat media che Aston Villa depending on so Otimira that Europa final anymore. But when Timmy ono so be na dwen say eso timi we need that 3 games ebe kan no senior fans ni beji. Man United on the other hand is something similar to the Tottenham. So timi wura that we friends Europa final no ono so be timi dia che, but it will depend on that Europa semi-final games o mu bebo. Yenhwe Nottingham Forest, Chelsea and Newcastle. Those are the other teams are almost so ehwe so betimi wura. That is the sport mu. Say ehwe Nottingham Forest against Brentford Osheno Brentford home. I'm not seeing Brentford being a difficult customer for Nottingham Forest. You hear Crystal Palace, yes, it will be a crucial game. Leicester would be an easy game for Nottingham Forest. West Ham, I see it to be a very easy game for Nottingham Forest. That crucial game against Chelsea. So that game will be decided. Either those teams will play in the Europa League or they'll go into the Conference League. I didn't make us and say I'm not seeing Chelsea or Nottingham Forest getting into the Champions League spot with games or more, and that day, that final day will decide. Omumu hwan and no betimi either the Champions League and now so obekwa kobo Europa. Into that game, home Nottingham Forest is a good boost for Nottingham Forest because ombebo home. They know how difficult they've been at their home ground. Into any Chelsea will do my especially in their last 5 games. Chelsea last 5 games, Obebo Everton, which went me and we in the first round, Okobo 0-0. It was Stamford Bridge, and they Oko Goodison Park. Everton, for like I say, every game on Bebo Goodison Park, they want to make a good use of it. Into any Chelsea, were a big tax ahead of them. The next game is against Liverpool. It will depend on Liverpool game against Tottenham. Say Liverpool, etimisha Tottenham, neche so wababe the league champions. Until maybe they can go into the Chelsea game with a less maybe important squad. And they beat me about Chelsea. But say Tottenham may have Liverpool. I mean, say Liverpool needs to go into that game against Chelsea Chelsea be home with a full squad.
I think that if even way from where you cry Liverpool be shown.
Tottenham.
Spurs team in your team.
Yes, but Spurs is say on so person on so make a statement because Angie has said it. We advance unnecessary records this season.
I think omoni Man United they check it out too.
Yes, but
if you check and you see ayana sa adi nyama we na something natural. You don't decide, but your body naturally, your mind, because you believe say Bodo. If you listen to Tottenham Hotspur supporters now,
they want
the reason why they are not too worried And I say, though they are not happy the way they are losing near there. But the reason why they are not too bothered because they see say, Bodo no yes so Bodo no, simple so make my then I qualify. So if a coach is resting certain key players, now so lose or Liga, there is nothing to play for. They will not mind.
Yes.
What I say. Yeah. So, and I make us even if they want to mind and do something, Krana, I'm not sure that Tottenham Hotspur team will beat Liverpool anymore.
Yes, but a fixture against Liverpool, it went into the wire. The scoreline, Liverpool had a great scoreline. Tottenham bet it. I think if Tottenham needs to do something, especially Senior Mekano, Angie set unnecessary record man. Pochettino in 3 seasons or Tottenham will lose 18 games. Angie in 2 seasons will lose 17. Wow. Into this is something I have in here, especially in this season we will lose 17. And so this is an unusual record, especially for the Spurs fans. But Senior can Bodo Glimt game near very important for them because if they are to get into the Champions League, or we need the next 5 games on do. But without Bodo Glimt and also the Europa final and the team the Omako. So it's more important. It is a Human United they are resting a lot of players to get that Champions League spot in him. But Chelsea would play Liverpool. Send a make it to be a game at Liverpool beat me at Chelsea. Liverpool beat me with a less squad 18. But Newcastle would be a game at Chelsea would battle their head out, especially at an away ground. Or Common United, which will also similar to the Tottenham thing, then that Nottingham Forest crucial game. It is a Osha games, of course, Chelsea, any team a friend Aston Villa, and they were the most crucial games going into the final 5. But these are the teams that they are on the 6th and 7th position, also on the league log. Into these crucial games, if they are to pick crucial points, say now because Man City, winia, and you say a Chelsea. Problem. But it should be Chelsea's problem because team at Chelsea so bet me overtaking Manchester City who is now on the 5th spot. Nottingham Forest and I'm fan say we need a game over that 3rd spot to be Manchester City. So Man City occupy that 3rd spot based on or one game our but it's more than more than ebebono. So Chelsea, I dare say Chelsea ni Aston Villa, any Newcastle, any Nottingham Forest, especially Man City games obebono. At least only draws and no lose home because so share the top 4 la. These teams will be so we are the top 4 with Man City based on maybe the performance and they fan say be maybe pool say custom we fans saying we fans in vote here Man City be bonidin. So this is the team the giant so no team me fall senior more amaka bet me win, but I think it will be a difficult fight for every team out there. Nottingham Forest a man to kwana ye diam or no ankasa because if they maintain that form they started the season with and Kebabe just 2 spots left for 4 teams to fight, but they ababe 3 spots for 5 teams to fight. 2 will be disappointed. They would have to go to the Conference League and also the Europa League. But so Bisame on which teams I think they will go through. I think Newcastle are show signs and also they have difficult games. They also have difficult games, but I think Newcastle with the Champions League ever bomb. And to say Manchester City and Chelsea, and they are the 2 teams I'm tipping, but it will depend on the Chelsea team will go into this last 5 games or so mobile in especially crucial games about among. You have Barcelona game on Bondra. Now, to say Barcelona do the level they are now acting like champions. So because they are acting like champions, it's more of they go into games. They play what they want to play, but when you say 1-0 victory now, okay, they just need 3 points. On for goals, ni nyashe 3 points in a win here, and there's so team. Nendra, Usha boy Barcelona boy. At the end of the match, you name him say goalkeeper boy ni any winning man of the match. But so Usha performance wise, Pedri, a player be a listo boy at the age of 22. Boy akwalane bono and wedding. Adenti ama single out Pedri ni say Sunday ya okriti record e La Liga mo. Onye ball recoveries of 17. Na La Liga obi an set this record ni bi da. 17 ball recoveries. Or this set a new record in La Liga. Na Endra Tuesday ya wasan break on one record. It mean 18 ball recoveries. in a game. Now Ndra passes. Oh boy, Ndra successful dribbles or try 3. Onya 3 ni na with long balls or ball 4 ni na call. Or dispose balls 3. Usha boa or ball 18 ball recovery send me balls no is one of the highest in La Liga football. It me set a record. Then 2 days time what break your record the ade back one wedding. I think he's one of the unsung heroes in the Barcelona setup. Yehu Lewandowski, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal getting the names, getting the exposure, Ballon d'Or, Yenfamon. But the presence of Pedri in that double DM role has been the key figure for Barcelona going forward. And I think the Barcelona fans, so yen play a bit me a man Ballon d'Or any say though say we've seen midfielders not getting that chance. You the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Busquets. Ejuma no mo ye being in the engine of the Barcelona setup, but the Messis, the Neymars, and the Suarez na get that attention. But in draw, Osha between on any Gavi, passes are distributed among themselves. More than the Mallorca team on boy in total. And at the back where said these 2 boys coming from the La Masia have been able to set up and make sure said this team is well engined and make sure said the forward line I enjoy Indra Ansu Fati getting his chance. And I think he was angry in their last game on boy say he didn't get a sub and Indra Utiminya that chance, but I think still he needs time to get into this Barcelona setup. And I saw Utimi born home or day. And yes, football no why you be that yen fan casem ye de ugusu ye and runting a Messi ni Ronaldo mo you who say day in day out they are trying to push themselves to get there. Ne Ronaldo you be and or retire but so team do that 1,000 goals or person ye so when to me and do be into me nyane but where any goal or person will do. So as a young chap coming into this Barcelona setup why you be that you've seen the time he came into this Barcelona team and Messi ni and he did so well. And they wait me free team no that left wing position I mean Ukraine and Rafinha performance what done they did this season and at the home man but Rafinha team actually say we team for that position so you need to fight and make sure say you give the coach headache send your Chinebino say so shift Rafinha everybody that 10 role now to me that left wing role a bit me about but Barcelona have done well see and the crucial thing about home they say they have the Champions League aside and they have the league also aside. Even though so matching Real Madrid as at now matching 7 points. It will depend on Real Madrid game. So the Real Madrid didn't man pick that winner. Now they can concentrate on the Champions League and make sure say they can win the Champions League, win the Copa del Rey coming this Sunday, and also make sure say the league net dome and moment me winning. That treble if it has been on their training and also their meeting rooms trying to achieve this season, they'll be able to achieve. I think Indra Pedri and then a man of the match. So you goalkeeper, Utimi born home or Pedri did so well. Barcelona fans, that's something the credit. Emmanuel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Listo, by my initiative for instance, I think that Enra, especially with Manchester City game, you can catch us a City were in a 14 winning streak against Aston Villa. And if City able it harder, it makes it very difficult for Aston Villa to question because Ucheki City and Aston Villa game up. Always City Aston Villa. Senke Villa Parker, the issue would have been different. 94th minute. Matthias in the shared the first goal for Manchester City. This year, and Bournemouth City their 15th consecutive win against Aston Villa at Etihad Sports Stadium. But look at a game now. You see, let's go back five. Almost bad game with the back five. That is Aston Villa from almost bad within the inches and come with me. At least getting a draw for them would have been so much important for them. And then I look at the penalty. How almost winning a penalty. Marcus Rashford the ball penalty more having survived at least City for the game because City dominated game. No, they created a lot of chances from flanks. Mamouche, all these players, and Mamouche, he was a delight to watch. It was very difficult for Aston Villa players to catch him. This is a player, Metimaka said, after a good attacking play so far, and he might be one of the best signings so far in January. Maybe people are not paying attention to him, but we'll check it the number of goals and assists that Omar Mamouche provided since Oba Manchester City, at least. Or I mean, it's quite unfortunate. But then no, Uyi Marcus Rashford and no obo more shots. Uyi Mateo Kovacic and no final third passes and Josko Vajo no City dominated the game in terms of shots, in terms of possession, in terms of the number of chances big chances Omutimi Kreti was there Ebu Manchester City. So Mikacho said it was very difficult. It was going to be a very difficult game for Manchester City for the fact that we check your last 10 to 8 games of our. They've been doing very well. I mean, Usha, go and matches in the share and Agwabe the home win in 12 matches in 2025. Villa for is going to be very easy. Say, Messi the Premier League top 4 games after Omoko unbeaten for the row for the first time since 2008 and 2009. So it was going to be very difficult for Aston Villa team to catch up, but City getting that victory list or very important for Manchester the team there a bit because proud to the middle of the season. City were struggling Niama and Shedan Koyama, but looking at how Niama Kono looks as if a bit me aboamo and Ocheki City matches are as money mankind may sound so ball matches, so their fixtures remaining very easy for them. Some of them are very tricky. In fact, Wolves, they will play Southampton, they will play Bournemouth, and also going to Fulham home, Craven Cottage, which is going to be at the very, very difficult, which is the last game on the ball. But comparing more matches to other teams on the ball, I mean, was the most difficult game on my boy. So I think that is going to be very difficult for Aston Villa to catch up currently, right now. Least of all, the number of points Aston Villa were, it's never too late for them to make me remember. They have 57 points, same as Chelsea, who has a game in hand. So should in case maybe all the teams are more than him, if they're able to win their next games, it means they're still on between 8 and the Aston Villa with 3 points, and with the number of games that Aka for Omono makes the job even more difficult for Aston Villa team. General City getting that victory very important for them. It was much needed. It was going to be very difficult for them, but right now, it takes them ahead. And right now, game you have to win before you can catch him. In the top 4 race, it looks like if City are able to win their next 2-3 games, it will put them in a pole position. Another game at least, or also was PSG and Nantes game. And I am Mekacho say was a game. I feel like it should be. The safest option is Obama team and the other Nantes. Obama go. Because now check a game now. I mentioned when Nantes are playing at home, they are a side that only a very good side, but some of the teams home they are not clubs who are playing better than PSG. So PSG going to Nantes to go and win, it shouldn't be something I will say for home. But you look at the PSG situation, they want to win the Champions League. They've already won the Ligue 1. The Super Copa de France no. But check here. I was suspecting some players be more or more end started game no. But check game now. Looks like the coach wanted to win the game. Apart from there was a slight changes in the formation of boy. More like a 3-back system. Mendes, Berardo, any Marquinhos as the flat 3, then Zaire Emery, Vitinha, Branton Ding, Eddie Fabian Ruiz, any João Neves. But whenever they are defending, João Neves minimum a bit more like the defender. And people ask, is it that maybe they're having injuries at that? But yes, still William Pacho was at the bench. Branton there, Lucas Hernandez, no so bench Sanso and Branton personal Kimpembe, and so it was the game planner and no coach, Eddie Koma, and later on Mutimi and Tuasha. And no Nantes game now check it the standings it was very difficult for Nantes for say Omuntimi winning game because no make sure say they needed at least a point to be ahead of more non-pro relegation. He was having 30 points, same point as Angus, but now no game in hand. So if we game in hand now by one man pick a point, it's going to be something very, very difficult. Right now, we check it Le Havre or that the 16th positioner. Actually Le Havre with 4 points. 4 points and on a other Trinley have more a very good option for them. Even if their next away game they almost only have a winner, it's still going to be 1 pointer. They needed some, I mean, that pointer very, very crucial for them. So I think that no, it was going to be very difficult. Both teams no obia no here point no was Nance and no any players no elevate up to expectation and no omutimi ebe winning sa game in the moment say no I mean PSG still they on course set on made the first ever team on beating me the entire league our campaign unbeaten as are now winning 24 games about draw 6. And despite saying no, I'm on board drawn against Air Nance, no, they are still in poor position. So meet me, I maintain a year or more a year unbeaten on Beso Moko. And Oshe time ago by Douglas Augusto go no share. It came in the die MS of the game. Abrana PSG for no a dominated game. Now that was when coaching started. Players Kvaratskhelia, Dembele mo and Nuno Mendes move from just to rest this place ahead of our Champions League games on Mebonte. I think that was a deserved victory for Nantes. They needed the point more than PSG. More than not PSG for a point, you know. But the most important thing is PSG after achieving the Ligue 1 championship, they want to be the first ever team obey the Ligue 1 unbeaten, and that is what they are trying to achieve with Luis Enrique and Manchester. List to no Basa Eshe Mayoka, and you see it was a game I was expecting say nanke be very difficult, but meanwhile no I'm sure say if Mayoka airborne away to Barcelona mostly I am more bread. Mayoka is not a team that have a strong rich history against Barcelona, and no I'm sure say Obia Ohia point in more both teams in here point because checking Mayoka or the 7th position. Even if Olusukra there's no relegation being no threatened. So the team over here the points in the most in as much as Mayoka for an air fighting for Europa League sports and as a Conference League sports, no, they needed to play the best team in the league right now. And I know they did very well. So limited Barcelona this season or averaging at least 2.5 goals per game in the La Liga this season. They were able to stop them from scoring more goals. In general, now goalkeeper Leo Roman, the number of saves 12 saves, which is crucial. I mean, the best so far in the La Liga this season. And I know actually they were Barcelona's list of also a critical chances tells you that I mean if a goalkeeper is able to make such saves I mean, at the end of the day, if Orine man of the match and as Imponizia Craneno as the player of the game, and being the fact that Oyego Gibabenra, the most important thing is Enra, the Barcelona for no points, they got the points they needed to move one step closer to the La Liga at Tintin. Barca so list to on my extended unbeaten La Liga round to 40 matches. I mean, in 2025, it's almost last 14 games on my ball. I'm winning 2 and on my draw 2 and how they defeated Mayoka they bit me closer to the La Liga title on Beso Monji. However, Mayoka for them, they played against the best team in La Liga. They knew that it was going to be very difficult for them. If they needed to pick a point just to stay in position for the Europa Sport, they needed at least a point against FC Barcelona. And if we say Leo Roman, man of the match, you shouldn't be surprised because they were able to sustain, but Omentima sustaining all the pressure. And that was a fine goal from Abrantandi, added than almost to a Barca team now. They've been scoring for fun with Lewandowski, all 40 goals plus this season in all competition. Rafinha with 30 plus goals in all competition. And Dani Olmo and so Eba Benya almost 10 plus. Lamine Yamal, there are a lot of players they've almost shared goals at Barcelona. And right now, you look at the league logger, Barca what 76. Madrid bebo and looks like how our points Nicono. Barcelona are in a poor position. Say on me, I extend on league. They are in the comfortable lead and check Barca next games in the La Liga. Games are a very they are tricky games, but after
Real Madrid.
Yes, that is after Real Valladolid. I'm about Valladolid. That's not about Real Madrid. They will play Valladolid.
Real Madrid Copa del Rey Sunday.
Yeah, I'm talking about the La Liga.
Yeah, okay.
In the La Liga, after Copa del Rey against Madrid on Sunday, and after Omebo Inter Milan in the Champions League, the next game La Liga is against Real Valladolid. Then from that game, they will play against Real Madrid, and that game will be the decider because 5 games. Right now, Barcelona leading with 4 points. If Barca Ebenya another point, then he also scores a team Real Madrid. It means that the point gap, no, Ebeka 7 points out of 9 points, 3 games. If Barcelona even a single win, and onya 1 win and a 2 olusuba no draw 2 he is still in a pole position to win the league and at least I think that the most important thing is that teams now omuhinya point in the most teams who wants to win the league, teams are person top 4, teams who wants to avoid relegation. The most important thing is that all these teams so win. It's quite unfortunate say and Leo Roman, so it deny a lot of people from over 1.5 and over 2.5 goals are investors that come on Barcelona game no.
Okay. Well, you share any games, you know. You share any games, you know. Spanish La Liga. What does this resource mean for the teams? And they Bobo Kwefeno, Bilbao ni Las Palmas. In Las Palmas, famous victory over Atletico Madrid as a team no mas brutal. Now no a movie or mama beda outside of the relegation zone 32 points. And Alaves war 31 points. Then there is Leganes also a 29. So Girona so around. Omu nyina so no fight relegation. What how much we Bilbao so even if they lose today, omu lose today just Villarreal so be war 2 outstanding games. It almost it appears La Liga so be 5 slots. So yes, now Real Betis and Villarreal it appears almost fighting for it. I think Bilbao there or a save, especially if they get a win today. Then almost as we Europa League the omanim. How should they attack this particular game? Then there is a Villarreal, like I said, they also want to get the championship. They want to maintain on position in a Champions League spot. Celta Vigo still want to maintain almost place in the Europa and as a Europe spot. Then there is Real Sociedad so also then a push. So I think the game is very crucial. Real Madrid chasing Barca.
Betis, Villarreal, so
yes, yes. Then Alaves Sociedad so no. There is a European and relegation battle so see I think the La Liga games and then a crucial. Then over Italy so Fiorentina we near there. So interest our games we. I think the Arsenal Crystal Palace and share that game
yes. Yes. In Tienche with La Liga games boss no with Bilbao and Las Palmas and I think Las Palmas say can say going into this game team were highly motivated Las Palmas because winning against your friends at Atletico Madrid no they were able to get out of the relegation zone and they want to maintain that same stamina umutimi the ball Atletico Madrid game and no share Atletico Bilbao making sure say they can win again and get out of that relegation battle at Diomechi from the start of the season and then Bilbao or chance say ultimately maintaining that Champions League spot and cement it. No, I'm making sure say the fit spot it will be battled between Real Betis and the team friend Villarreal. And it will be highly motivated same Bilbao. So after losing that crucial game against Real Madrid, you know how the game went to the wire. It took Valverde's brilliance to get a goal for Real Madrid. This will be one crucial game. I think this game mostly previously we could see a lot of goals coming into this game, but in recent days, in their last 2 fixtures on my bonus, it's just 1 goal in 2 games. In TNA, we'll see less goals in the game. Though say it will be a difficult game, both teams need goals to qualify, and both teams need goals for their points and ABB to get into a spot here. I'm looking at this game from the Bilbao perspective, say at least a draw would be favorable for them. Because when you draw, meaning say the point, Ebeko that is 58. Next is what Villarreal almost 6. With the friend is saying 5 games left for them to play. In TNA, at least Bilbao going into this game, a draw would be favorable for them. And a draw would also help team my friend Las Palmas, but it wouldn't secure them out of that relegation battle. Omope. Internal Las Palmas going on away no. Obejire ne ho kwan bia so say so team. And one thing will be motivating for Las Palmas since their last away game was against Getafe. They were able to score 3-1. But to go away to Bilbao, mostly entire a good score line. It's either say Bilbao Sheno with 2 or more goals and now so a draw. So I think today they would likely also go for a draw. This will be one fixture. Say me come by MYBET.AFRICA. I'll go for a Bilbao win or draw because I don't think Bilbao will lose this game. And also under 3.5 your option a bit me about because in their last 2 games they've averaged just a goal in those 2 games. In say we can see a 0-0 draw or maybe a 1-0 win or a 1-1 draw. It will be Villarreal and Celta de Vigo. I think Villarreal and a pressure than is we papa because position or that those are 1 game in hand against him a friend Robertis, which gives them the possibility so bet me do 55 points. No, I train Robertis move by 4. Okay. By a ne quite be as no against Celta de Vigo no so eye for that conference league sport. It will be one of the greatest things to happen in their club. To meet me qualify for Europe, the Conference League. We also say that they're so tired to pan. So it will be a very difficult game. Osha bookmakers they are tipping team and friends Celta de Vigo to at least win or draw in this game. But I'm seeing the game to be a crucial game for Villarreal. In himself, Villarreal has been one teamer. In years back, they were getting into the Champions League. The Yehu records are setting the Europa League. Now this season they can't even get into those European competitions. So Celta de Vigo in the last 10 games, in the last 12 games, our ball, a move 12. Quite bias no team be both team to score tie ball. Intiene enyamwa say the way the fixture is difficult, no both team to score likely say bet me abo. This fixture be in his last 4 meetings at teams Nation averaging over 3.5. Intiene so be come MYBET.AFRICA. The likely said this fixture both team to score bebo over 2.5 over 3.5 bebo very high.
Fixture bem.
That is Villarreal and Celta de Vigo game. Inti so come MYBET.AFRICA so over 2.5 game if both team to score game and this is one game and me two for so bet me ako and both teams almost goals in their previous games even to this game. Osha Villarreal last game about 2-2. Osha Celta de Vigo last game against Barcelona 4-3. So these are games that they are high scoring teams. Internet likely so over 2.5 over 1.5 will happen. Say may pair a team to win in this game. Villarreal away record backing so well to win this game because in this last 5 away games our corner will lose against Celta de Vigo, and with that game I think Maka said it was a poor game for them. And Umutimi could lose our game after Celta de Vigo in a red card. Still they couldn't equalize. Umutimi lose here. So a Villarreal win or draw, and also over 2.5 both team to score. Option I see in this game happening. Real Madrid any Getafe a team be or no. Why no say a giant killers? Or no on nketwa ne bo a on yire ne ho. On akese ne bo a and obey ne ho abobo na so oboni na it make sure say otimi age point free ho. Ye hu so waje o ma Barcelona on the Barcelona boy 1-1 draw when you home and they Real Madrid and so but in the last fixtures our ball home na team big team or call apart from Barcelona and also Jimmy J point free ho Atletico Madrid into a waje a point free Barcelona ho waje a point free Atletico Madrid ho and then Real Madrid and so then the last time I share Real Madrid at home was in 2022 or team share 1-0 and I think with Real Madrid the way there've been a lot of rumors about said we have friends and Carlo Ancelotti. There've been a lot of rumors even about the players. There are rumors say Bia at the end of the season. Say one of those big names, and has become a lot of pressure on the dressing room, and it will be a difficult game for Real Madrid. If Real Madrid, per se, they still have hopes to win the La Liga, this will be a game and they need to win and win comfortably. Because Barcelona are winning by 1-0. So Real Madrid last 5 away games were Enyama Enkoye. Emutu pen we winning against Alaves or share 1-0 and against Villarreal and Obre or share Villarreal 2-1. We lose to Betis by 2-1. Into a Getafe a strong motive to go against Real Madrid and also make sure say Betis position or that olusu any game will lose hano because of that 12 or 39 by Real Madrid ehiano. This is a game I'm not seeing a lot of goals coming in this game, even though say stat wise if they meet Real Madrid they team 2 or more goals, but I'm not seeing a lot of goals coming into this game. Adia maybe Getafe fan be am person say anytime be a Getafe ebebo a game on Wednesday no moon wini. About 4 games on Wednesday. Imu 3 will lose no about draw back. Internet everything is backing team a friend Real Madrid. But how would the scoreline be? I'm seeing this game to be a Real Madrid straight win. Real Madrid straight win. I'm not seeing a lot of goals in this game. It's better to avoid going for maybe over 2.5 in this game because Real Madrid in their last few games they struggle to score. They struggle to score. So and under 3.5, one option I think it will give a lot of odds into wait mark under 3.5 and also Real Madrid win or draw or Real Madrid straight win or game win. Here Italy, you heard Juventus, Siciano, they are just trying to fix their season and make sure Sentino Makwa the fix Abano. Say he can get them into that Champions League spot here. You name him say today's game is a crucial game for them. Say unless Juventus beat me, season in na Juventus beat me at Champions League in a game so. Because today, if they are to win, they enter into that 4th spot for the Italian teams. They can get into that Champions League. The fixer, they need to win today's game. It's a crucial game against Parma. Parma a team especially when they come into games. Say from the 76th minute, say team be bet me as goal. You are a Parma.
Okay.
Quite be as second half that crucial 70th minute, the 80th minute. Then him say Juventus have been a team at this season. They are scoring their goals earlier and defending well. Intino Palmer would be licking their lips, making sure they say 1-0 and Juventus the be 70th minute now. They will try to score. In this season, almost 14 goals between the 70th minute to the 90th minute. They are highly motivated going into this game, but Juventus need to win. Parma in their last 5 games, why not doing say on shawa on so no. In their last 5 games, about draw on I wouldn't be surprised, and that draw includes a draw against Inter Milan, a 2-2 draw against Inter Milan. Into today's game, it will be a very crucial game for team friend Juventus, and I'm seeing a draw. Juventus win or draw, and an option 1.5 is likely to also play because these are 2 teams in their last previous games they've averaged at least a 2.5 in their last 3 games from above. In a 2-2, a 3-1, and also a 4-0 win Juventus Enyae. Into this game will surely give us an over 1.5 and also a win or draw for team IFN Juventus. Then
if for Omafa new coach or draw kwa.
Yes. Sisi ano Palma no baby omodano omo hwe inform ho. Senior me boss no hwe emfa ne ho. Ono no sisi ano or person free that relegation mu.
But it appears when they are playing against the big teams,
they perform well.
Yes.
Okay. That is one thing a coach need to can't team ni who ebo. If and in any league, if you are able to fight the big teams, the smaller ones, some more me say age mate mo. Utimini omo kun ye na unya crucial point ebo. Inti say utimini Inter Milan border. Etimi ha Inter Milan say yeah because now no they've been able to make Napoli have the feelings that they can take the Scudetto to Bill. Until these are crucial games. Juventus and they are also in the Champions League and so Edaso. Until they need to go in and make sure that they take that thing out of Parma, which may cause a lot of teams this season. Yeah, share with Arsenal any Crystal Palace game. Crystal Palace has been one team. They started January very well, and Enyama Adane I think it started from their game against Southampton. But they didn't take it so well because in the next game, they came to beat Brighton. Brighton also from March neighbor, their performance has been very poor. After that, we could lose 5-2 to team friend Manchester City. We could lose 5-0 to team friend Newcastle. Then against Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth on the night were very poor. They should have punished Crystal Palace after that red card. Crystal Palace nyai. And this game, Arsenal has nothing to lose. Arsenal any and one person Mikel Arteta edu baby otimi bo Saka mu in games like this onhwe the Man United ne Tottenham mo ye no baby a Arsenal edu no e be dey say obetimi age league no into these are games
ko na key player
yes omukupra ohun be chirew because say ubisa Arsenal fan ene say enge league ni enge Champions League obefa Champions League eja league that is one title a omuntimi nji enu ntino so omuni Chelsea fans di nkomo a Chelsea fans ba kwakobo so mo Champions League we no ma yidi nti ene ehun hiom saying league no into the likes of Saka, Thomas Partey, Saliba mo these are games you need to be benching them no more Makanye Bimbo. So this will be a crucial game for Team FN Crystal Palace, even though they have nothing to lose, but their season have been very poor. They need to be very strong against Arsenal. But record back Arsenal Quitani said in their last 42 home games or above home. So Arsenal they kind of go to Atenem. Quite biaso on lose so against in 42 we winning 36 about draw just 6. So meaning in our home Arsenal are dominating. And a game, no, I'm seeing a lot of goals because Arsenal are now a high scoring team. Even though say they missed out on some of their strikers no issue Arsenal to me goals, but now their front three has been able to create that partnership and they are scoring a lot of goals. So in the last 2 games and in the last 5 games, so with me average at least a goal per game. I'm seeing a lot of goals. Over 2.5 is likely to play in this game. And Arsenal win or draw air option and make me a call for maybe Mikel Arteta. EBT me football maybe or bench players akese and yes I'm seeing Arsenal scoring a lot of goals in this game. Into Netflix Chelsea there. MYBET.AFRICA for some who is kama into no yen shishe bet ni enko fiska ewo.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I mean started from the Serie A, Parma Juventus. Obekaya since Juventus for Copamo, Thiago Motta, there's been a lot of sensibility now, but since a year, opinion you go to the replace Thiago Motta. No, I enjoy a solid start when you 2-1 victory over relegation side against Lecce, and the unbeaten starting in 3 games in list. After 3 games, we're winning 2, about draw 1, and he's hoping to obetimi win against a Parma and no share the Serie A league log na no me boss so Juventus were 59 and a other 5th position with Bologna that 4th and a team near the Atalanta was 64. Bologna one than the top now but more matches, and if he's able to win this game it means that Obeko a 62 pointer beya de bit mabwa ayomu. But the thing is Parma to list open one of the teams Omoni Juventus have bought a lot of stalemates and our draws. It was here this season. Parma kahon. And they check it on my last game on my boy on board draw. It means that list of on my board draw at was 5 times. And then young one say on my boss draw. And out of half draws no boarding now. Either a bear scoring draw and a goalless draw. And in fact, this season, prior to the start of this season, on board draws are to 4 times. That is a 0-0 draw against Bologna, a 1-1 against Como, 1-1 against Empoli, and they played 2-2 against Juventus. In Tobacaya, because Juventus are both drawn 13. Baku, Omoni Parma and a boy. And this season, list of Parma, winning just 5 games out of the 30 plus games on my ball. And they move 4 out of the 5 wins in the Serie A this season. You hope. It should be a very difficult ground for Juventus because list of check Parma. Omo games at home. Mostly say Juventus no more koba. Very easy since 2018. Omo team share Juventus home. But looking at this game, the tempo, the tension, everybody needs the points because you look at the league logger. List of Parma the 16th position, just 3 points ahead of Venezia. Any Empolia or more the relegation battle, and they are doing everything right. They can amass more points just to avoid any relegation playoffs and because looking at how our points we check it from Cagliari and even from Uyukomo and then Genoa, it looks technically free the relegation battle. No? Verona were 32 points. I don't know or Venezia and Empoli just 7 points. Cagliari were 30 points. Parma were 28. And Lecce were 26 points. So if Parma are able to get even a pointer, it means that it will edge them more point gap between team and Daddy Venezia and your mono ebe stretch it, because it means that if these teams in 25 now be 29, about a 4 point lead and never in a bit. So this game is going to be a very tough game for me. But Igor Tudor also know he needs the point, he needs the needed match points obey team so the in the top 4 place, and especially I think that if the home fans are able to lit up the venue, me ye the day, and the Palmer fans no believe what it means for them to avoid relegation this time, because since free relegation by they've not been able to score a Juventus. Anytime you make sure Juventus show from the start of last season free Serie B by 3 games Juventus are in Juventus show me. In fact, Juventus is a very good record against them in their previous encounters on my ball, especially at Parma home. I'm taking a double chance for 80 money Juventus in this game. Also, Lazio ni Genoa bebo. You look at the league logger, it do that best of the season say people who needs the points, fans, everybody involved, operations in the money it a key in place. But check Genoa, our 39 points. Relegation is very hard say obey macro relegation, because check the teams are or more the relegation battle or more them 60 or more 25 points, and Genoa and so 39 points. Looking at the number of games and so aka, it means that option star teams no 14 points, and I got 5 games to go. And if that 5 games Nina must to 15 points. So if Genoa are able to even get a point out of the last 5 or 6 games I can list all, they're in a pole position say or make me a league, I compete for the next season or Serie A animal. When looking at that, they're in a pole position, and right now will be here point in more somebody who needs an European competition, a European qualifiers next season. Team and they are Lazio, but also Lazio so at least all whenever they are traveling, they are very good travelers. In fact, they have not been consistent among Cheddar and winning games and twice more than 3 times several times prior to this season. No winning games at twice 3 times, and then they check it on last game boy away to Atlanta. They went to Atlanta, Bergamo, Atlanta. So Lazio team, one of the teams that they are exciting to watch. They play very good football. They have experienced players. Anymore, they can cause havoc to any team. But today I also going for over 1.5 goals in this game. Highly risky. Genoa would need that needed points. At least make him there secure more position in the Serie A already. Lazio also needs that point. So I'm going for a double chance and over 1.5 goals for a Lazio team. Another one, measure a Real Madrid and a team at the Getafe game. Obibeka said Real Madrid needs the point, because right now there's no Champions League football. They have a Copa del Rey, and in fact they would have to win the Copa del Rey as well. But people are asking, Coach and the Carlo Ancelotti, is he going to bench the key players? Nibi, because I think the last time boy, Kylian Mbappe, the red card, and it looks as if Kylian Mbappe is not going to be part of this team. But we'll check it. Apart from Kylian Mbappe, maybe where the red current member game now, you look at Barcelona team now, they are going to be without still Dani Carvajal, Ferland Mendy, and Abraham Eda Militao. Apart from these players, list or more effort with one eye or cap on Ancelotti Ben and so be decided to be rotating the squad. I'll bet my starting or be more some starting opportunities to play with David Alaba. Frank Garcia may be able to start. Ada Gule, Brahim Diaz, any Hendrik Moye players at least or make me start, because the Copa del Rey is something that they need to win, because it's going to be very difficult. Say they will lose the Copa del Rey to Barcelona and also lose their La Liga title to the FC Barcelona. I'm seeing say they might be able to start the young child, but if you have Brahim Diaz, we've seen him several times this season. Whenever you have an opportunity against Manchester City, against other clubs in the Champions League, you will have a ball. Hendrik Achen say he is the goal poacher. In fact, I believe that if Madrid have been playing Hendrik and Kebebo mu team that needed balance, they almost say that now, because in no games are Kylian Mbappe, he's not disciplined as that first 9 on the bottom. In Russia, when he was at PSG, anytime Luis Enrique was in, like no Okanasem. And that is one reason why Kylian Mbappe didn't even want to extend the contract and stay at Manchester and stay at PSG. Or more bomb game now. Their shape, they have these elite, attackers in their team. Anytime they are obey mistake, they can score you. But with Ada Gola, Rodrigo, and Ibrahim Diaz, and if he's able to rest the key players, I think that's still Madrid. A much needed point. You look at Getafe, also your team here, also Edaye with 39 points. We checking the point from Baby Alaves Moda just a year. 8 points NODBT 7 points NODBT 8 points on DBT Alaves on also other relegation. But if in the last 6 games now can he's not been able on 2-3 points he will secure a spot in the La Liga next season. So I think that Madrid needs the victory more than ASR team. So I'll go in for a double chance, especially if Senkeye away home and Madrid, it would have been so much difficult. But Getafe, Etina Fima Villa Rocochet, or Tina Fima Palma, a question will lose to us 2 times, and third time consecutive on the bounce. No, a B and 10. The last time EBC was, the start of the season, Omulusu to us 3 times. Since then, they haven't lost more than 3 times on a row. So I'll go in for a double chance for Real Madrid, and also over 1.5 goals in that game. So Atletico Bilbao and the Las Palmas, list all, and also a game to watch. Everybody needs the points. Baku here points. Eddie is secure in his position in the top 4. But you look at the top 4 position now. Atletico Bilbao at 4th with 57 points. And right now, the most more priority this season is to win the Europa League. Because Martinaka said the Europa League finals will play at San Mamés. You remember Atletico Madrid for Omu home grounds, and they want to win the Europa League for the first time in the club history. In today, their player beat Nico Williams. Some hamstring, some thigh injury be team the benching against Real Madrid, and they want to keep the boy for the Europa League and counter Manchester United before. And that game, no, a very crucial game. In fact, we check the Europa League, the stats, the numbers are. It tells you the United and they're the best team ever Europa League this season. They have amassed more points than any other team in the competition this season. So if they want to win, they have to reserve some of the key players. But with Atletico Bilbao, how they play at home, how even that last minute winner from Valverde and Madrid that 1-0 victory from them, they are very, very difficult for. But I don't see Atletico Bilbao losing at home for Belusu Atuaso being home, because we check my last games are. In fact, the whole of this season, they've lost to just 3 teams, to Osasuna, to Barcelona, and I think the first game of the season, my boy, Francis said, Atletico Madrid, boy, only 3 teams, and I show more at home, and I don't see, say, Las Palmas, fall into that category. In fact, maybe Osasuna team could share by looking at the stage and how Nehemiah, even if they lose to Man United, they still have to secure Champions League spots next season. So an initial, but it's going to be very difficult. That game too, I'm going for a double chance for 8 minding at the Atletico Bilbao. Another game at least all measure Arsenal Crystal Palace game. And a lot of people are saying they don't know why Arsenal Mikel Arteta elbow a lot of key players in their setup. List all. Go check here Arsenal list all. 66 points. Newcastle 59 points. How many games to go? I got 5 games. If Arsenal list all, also just 2 games. Now Newcastle and Chelsea more crampono. Teams are more 57 points. Eba by winning 2 games at Waswa. It means that the tie and I said the point gap between Arsenal and Newcastle and Chelsea will be very slim. If Chelsea win 2 games, Arsenal lose. So, in as much as Arsenal wants to win the Champions League, list all. Akwa said previous seasons, they wanted to win the league, and into Champions League, EF or FA Cup, they didn't care about that league so much. Later on Bottle League, they don't want to do such mistakes. In fact, getting the champion, because since Mikel Arteta, Arsenal were not playing in the Champions League regularly. But since Arteta, for the past 2 or 3 seasons, they've been consistent playing the Champions League. And that is how Arsenal can compete with the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, and even Chelsea whenever they are buying players. And the Bema more that edge, And right now, at least almost 66 points. Manchester City was 61, Nottingham Forest was 60, and Newcastle was 59. If Arsenal aren't for good attention and keeping the lead or man-to-man regulate how they are in the top 4, that's almost lose 2 games. Etwaswa, no drop huge points. Etwaswa. The last 3 games, 4 games, pressure have been also, and I'm sure some of their players as bit major. In fact, we'll check your more in terms of injury. Gabriel Magalhaes, and this is the injuries any moody. Tomiyasu prayer that Adamunyan come by. Julian Timber, this is the only more than 7 matches. And Samson Tuaso. Thomas Tepate has been consistent for some time now, but these are players more sure. But maybe Bukayo Saka and a lot of players are almost free injury by they may not be able to play them. But I think that against Crystal Palace is going to be a game at least or check Crystal Palace for now. 44 points. The points gap between them and Ipswich very clear. They don't have anything to lose. But they are also hoping say from the where Bem of that and also Crystal Palace, and if they're able to even a lot of points, they can even go closer to the 8th position this season. Analysis say we can get 10 England teams competing in the Champions League list. Already right now England are 5 slots. If Man United are able to win the Europa League, it means that they will go and play the Europa League. Team no will occupy the Conference League spot. If Chelsea are able to win the Conference League, if automatically on your qualification to the Europa League, it means the team order 9th and 8th, a bit many side. And so looking at how Chelsea set up in the city, if Arsenal so win the Champions League, it means that another team will also go in. So if Chelsea, United, and Arsenal, all these 3 teams list all Omoje the continental European
I think it's Arsenal. Yeah, no, if they are outside the top 5, no we win the Champions League now, then they will go. Even that crown, only the 5th, the other 5th, no.
Yeah.
So the Arsenal,
if on say OG FA Cup, Europa, then the other one. So if the teams are England teams, some team provided, I'm to me even team crowd that 8th position crowd. So United Naji Europa League. No, so G the FA Cup or G the Europa League. No, no qualification means that teams be award the 8th, 9th position. If any opportunity be about, these teams can a bit me affiliate that opportunity. So I think that it's going to be an interesting game. But especially if Arsenal are playing at home, people don't know how Mikel Arteta is going to set up the team. But especially if Arsenal anytime near the Crystal Palace bar, mostly I know Arsenal every year. In fact, Crystal Palace for no whenever Omushia the big guns, especially Arsenal, Manchester United, their teams are and in fact, baby board a very factor because the last 3 games are Crystal Palace are quite Emirates, win. So that game 12 going for a double chance of 1.5 goals for team and the Arsenal.
Okay, now as a Real Madrid report, and there is a 50 million euros release clause of Abrante FN Dean Hussein and a bomb of defender no.
We Horsen,
Dean Horsen. As if 50 million into no. Real Madrid are out because Real Madrid are not ready to spend money over that area, especially over the emergence of Asensio, neither Militao or return, and of course they have Rudiger. Then Alaba is around. So if they want to sign a player, it might be a new left back or a right back or maybe a striker, something. So Real Madrid are out. Now, as a Chelsea and Ababe lead the race, some of the Chelsea fans are raising concerns. Yes, of course. Chelsea team the height. The only player on in the height, Tosin. Maka even Tosin 6'5". Almost any profile any BBA ne Abrante friend cool so Chelsea doesn't need somebody or in a shape of core. They need somebody or in the shape of Fofana. That is ball winning, aggressive, tackler, that type. It be must make arguments boy no or a Rolls Royce, he can do everything, and or height or bet my boaso in winning the duels. He can pass and also a press resistor. David Lewis mo type of when they are on the ball no or yeah. So they are making this argument. Among for true about defenders because of experience any other. Chelsea defense one with all the defenders on wall. Any currently Bournemouth. Let's say now Chelsea is leading the race. 2 minutes now for Yenfa Orsenembra.
Okay, Listo. So share Horsen. He's a fine defender. Obiaweka say he's not a good defender, no boy. He has come. So Oshena Wabo Juventus da. Wabo Juventus da. When you board the Serie A teams back come here, be any experience.
Or Cologne or Roma.
Yes.
No about Juventus next G. Baby, Fenajan was say on a honor boy.
Roma. So say you can say. At his age, with Timia Gada experience, kaka.
He's a national team player as we speak.
Ye name him says, "Upe baby are defensively, the teams are solider. The Syria, with Timia experience back home. Now, one thing about him, he's a fine player, and boss, but his profile compared to profile, maybe Chelsea here and I don't think he fits into that bill. I didn't America say he's young, he's ready to learn. And he wouldn't come into a setup. He will become, let's say, a main man to take responsibilities. Same kind, he's young and he's ready to learn. And I know that there have been clubs around him. Your name said Liverpool, Chelsea. There are other teams, Real Madrid, and so but I think the mistake at Real Madrid for and say Real Madrid in the past seasons now are refusing to spend on players that they would come in and help them, but they are looking at free agents, lower your friend is saying players that they will bring in. Him say Lenny Euro to Man United, no more say in Corbett me about free away to me and movie to Man United. So this boy inclusion into this Real Madrid team would have helped Real Madrid a lot. Obet me from the likes of Rudiger, Alaba.
Now Obe to me and Yabiabo because now Asensio are cementing the positions there.
Yes.
Now he's one of the best defenders now,
yes.
And even in a Champions League, he's playing ahead of Alaba. I'm push Alaba to the right. left side. Yes. So if you look at and Eder Militao will come. Are you saying sir, if Eder Militao is fit, Rudiger is fit, Asensio no one distinguishing who team no more than without spending a penny, you want to go and join them. Meanwhile, Real Madrid too is not ready. Like you said, they are not ready to spend.
Yes, and that is the problem. They are not ready to spend. But if they were ready to spend, I think it would have been a good thing because in him say with the likes of Rudiger, Militao, they can't play Real Madrid for the next 2 seasons. These are players they would move. And if Real Madrid can get that partnership between Asensio and Horsen builder, it will even benefit to the extent say to benefit your friend is saying team Spanish national team as a whole. Because he named him the likes of Sergio Ramos, any Busquets, any Puyol, the way Piqué and Puyol team building that partnership for Barcelona, it me right into the Spanish national team a bomb. There would have been something and can me a bomb. But coming into the Premier League, player any agent, any conversation around the player, and he say he wants to still stay in the Premier League because with him adapting and he feels that the league is good for him to also improve. So the chances of a team signing him in the Premier League are very high. But looking at Chelsea, I think now Chelsea here experience. Looking at everything, Chelsea here that experience, that leader, someone he's like a captain on the previous club. Waiting me control the dressing room there. Coming into this team, obey me at a younger age, but he can be able to step in and make sure say Urbano the present will add a lot in the defensive setup. Next season, Chelsea might add a new goalkeeper or Petrovic Beba. So from next season, Chelsea will build a new back line. So you need that person to be that way, like the friends and the vocal point, making sure say he's speaking out too well and controlling the back four. Obo, that is Jonathan Tardy. And the other time, Bedin Komo with a friend is saying, your friends are Arojo of Barcelona. These are 2 players, I think, age-wise, they are a bit in that Chelsea bracket.
Are we looking at it age? Because age, if are we looking at age?
Yes.
Or a player somebody or what talent, and some players are experienced in their talent. What I say, somebody like Kubasi, the kind of experience and talent will show Barcelona Chiwo no. Edu baby, he was the go-to guy over Barcelona Chiwo, and Sana even come finding, a pair, a be complementing each other. That is Omode Eba Martinez, Ebabe joining. The guy is still showing it at that age. Asensio showing leadership, even with Rudiger. This guy is showing leadership. Team. Bastoni, at what age na Bastoni nya the opportunity to play? Yes, so because say be a ball with a younger player, or ball with an older player. But we've seen Kowo, we've seen Badiashile, Munina. They've played with Thiago Silva. Chelsea problems are still there. The fundamental problems, basic principle of defending, has become a problem.
Yes,
for Chelsea.
But Listo, so this scenario, this players at Bomudin has gotten the chance to play in a team with experienced players. Yes,
but they are showing almighty, one of the best defenders ever.
Yes.
What has come of it?
The factors they come into two sides. The league play a factor, and also the type of structure team they building. You know himself with this Chelsea team. Rudiger. Do time na Chelsea he
was all over the place. Yes. No wasampa.
They do baby no Obenya Thiago Silva Emma be complementing because the team was a bit stable. But Chelsea team no defensive liner. Metumaka said this season at Chelsea team abo maybe a combined defensive line twice maybe 5-6 games. Not last season and previous seasons there were a lot of changes. But Sisiano, one thing at Chelsea, he said our boss age. Meaning said it will be a share about age. It will be an age in Kansem. Because we me akwa for experienced defender be aba we did 32 ba no abon obeba be good team ne kra time ana Tosin eba na mean Tosin age wise but
the height
he has been one of
most disappointing.
Yes, into sometimes I think the thing that Chelsea may say out was Tosin wasn't that of a leader sawo the Fulham setup but he was there. Chelsea here the Jonathan Tah
he's a leader. Jonathan Tan Wasson.
Oh, but he's a leader.
Yeah, they are playing 3 back.
And he's the center.
See, Leverkusen. Team, one of the team. I don't know why. Before Alonso Babe Fawe, when was Leverkusen for relegation?
Yes, no more.
Season all year way. He came in. All the analysis they did pointed to the fact that Jonathan Tah was the problem. Now he was the senior most player. Into what Alonso was saying Alonso and say Obe protecting him. That is why Obo Trebak. Are we saying that we are bringing him to protect him? Or no, protecting Kolano. We are bringing him to protect him. I feel at this stage, somebody like Fofana, a player, was said to overcoming injuries. If Otimi overcoming the injuries now, I think Chelsea is good to go.
And I think Chelsea this season, say Obibeka say Obi abon ho abro, metima say Chelsea sporting directors, and Enzo Maresca abon ho abro, because Renato Vega at Juventus, the way centre back role or ball, the boy just wanted a chance, but it was based on Levi Colwill.
And the contract on
yes.
The man. Sometimes,
and I think Edu baby we need to overlook because
you can't overlook. You create confusion because you're in first team players. They are aware say we are the first team players, and your rotational players. What I say that is why rotational player can just get up and say I want to leave, and they will, and then Liverpool, he want to leave, but to be a shock,
yes. And
so what
be a big thing, yeah. But Edu baby, I think, but send your Jonathan Tah with the style of play, and also with the Bundesliga, no. Mostly players for Bundesliga bar Premier League no may maintain MP because the league is so soft in a way, mommy. Naturally, because all share Obiti say my main example with defense Matthew Tell Tottenham or Bayern with me Gini bo short she baby but about Tottenham emfa so
or yema Liverpool emfa hosting then we go for Konate.
Liverpool befa hosting a meaning say or Van Dijk replacement.
So Van Dijk will stay now. Why extending the contract?
Yes, in the years
and
to
also,
come.
When they are coming like this, with the how Oba any the place not losing a place in the Spanish national team will obviously demand for a playing time.
Yeah.
So if Oko Liverpool, then you go for Konate, who will come with everything or take all the boxes.
But Listo, Konate too on the other hand, no. Konate is getting a lot of shielding from Van Dijk, a lot of control. Because Usha Konate, time ye Van Dijk in you no born Kwansa, Utumu said the leadership in the team nenye. I had to say one thing at Chelsea here. Okay, someone who can control the back line.
Can Hossein do that?
I don't think he can come into the team and do that.
Are you sure?
Debbie, because with coming into a team, whoever shall Coban boy to say Levi Cole, he wouldn't allow that.
It doesn't matter if you are vocal, you are vocal.
Okay. If Fafana and Kai say Utimi said step here, but with
injuries, no.
Yes.
Okay,
I think the comment was on your much now. The scouting report to be maybe done idea about how this player play, but you see,
because there are some players who are there.
Yes,
leaders.
Based on
what
also performance. You see,
they lead by their performance.
So they also far into some much now. My analysis about only 2 centre backs, one against Saliba and one against Kubasi. Adia a down snow. They call him that press. One say your players more or me
David Luiz
press resistance or pressing or don't apart from say on ball passing or the ball or back carry ball then Fofana any Rudiger sometime and that he's into Osha data now. The ball carry no I want to get a figure right. I think the ball carry no 97.2% more than any other defender in the Europe top 5.
And that profile also at Chelsea miss the entire team.
And listen to
ball career.
With the age group under 21 defenders, he's the highest rated defender. And aside that, who checking the interceptions? On say Adiba Kwa on the scouting report, say because nobody I fian or area duties and to check here the area ability say or data no. Paul Kubasi crow only height epic because of the height how lean the upper body here defenders baby strikers baby net me the I say but aside from that person starting from the back the reason why Dean Horson start to spin team is with him how spin ball they start from the back and before being defender Bateman starting from the back he has to have some qualities be press resistance either say you're pressing create on one own channel of passing either a long either a short and also beating the ball overtaking play and assert attack and that is why at the age Obama Brentford in the check starts now data now there are a lot of things forward passes never encounter because of how Bournemouth plays so he's comfortable playing a teamer or low block. And also comfortable in a team or starting from the back or more direct attack. So with that is the reason why teams like Liverpool, Real Madrid win a chase because checking the scouting reporter under the age group under 21 defenders, he is the best, and they believe that born as if our experience. This is a player list on the first ever season in the Premier League,
and born
2 matches, and yes still. Who checking Bournemouth who among for both defenders always be update they mention one of the top 5 defenders in the league.
One thing I hear when say this season one of Bournemouth games we lose or start here he starts with another defender and yet Zobani say time anytime be Zobani a team he plays so well but anytime Zobani is missing out but his performance is poor.
I would say the thing is
so meaning he needs an experienced person to bring the best out of him.
But you see, if you are talking about experience at all, even experience doesn't really and found one the number of age already. Who should be to say Moises Caicedo?
Liverpool, how many
Liverpool seasons this is the 3rd ever season boy
Liverpool naturally to me the way not Chelsea a praising. I don't think so. We'll do that level.
No,
so they are looking at on ceiling.
Who check it?
No,
to me, it's not improving.
Cole is not improving.
He's not improving. He lacks a lot of things.
So now they are bringing a player. If he's not improving, Amon will say, what about 3 seasons? You are not improving. So are they looking at say this guy? We can even sell him.
But listen,
because Osha Hossein playing from the left. He seems very comfortable playing from. I've not seen him playing from the right, but he seems very comfortable playing from the left. So if you are looking beyond Kowo, then he fits in the bill.
I think one example I made Miyama to Hossein profiling more of time and badly share bar first now no ball with Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
we saw the best out of him. His ball carrying, his movement, and Nubi and a Hossein. I think he will be good with an experienced defender. Maybe the Van Dijks, the Militaos, and maybe the Chelsea Betimia in an experienced defender, it will help. But he coming into with Liverpool will be a disaster for me.
So listen, so you have much now.
Okay, all right.
The report is say right now Madrid don't want to pay that 50.
They will not pay any that one.
Liverpool don't want to pay, and Chelsea is the right purpose. But the only conversation is say the boy wants to be assured say he plays for the Spain national team. And if he's coming or bad Chelsea with the defenders like that, he has to start.
Of course,
so that is
at
what
this stage,
Chelsea for. So if Chelsea guarantees say or Babe starting, and they believe that for fun as well, any consistent with injuries now they are. So Omar guarantees at least with a number of games or Boma Bemov, at least 20 games a season in the Premier League. Chelsea so meet my guaranteeing that number of games. No, so that is why Branton I am more closer to Chelsea. And right, reporting just said Chelsea would have to sell Chalobah to get more.
Of course,
yes. So Chalobah will go,
Disasi,
and maybe
Chelsea is what centre back this season.
Yes. Answer me.
So we will trade
apart from Ansel Mino, you are Tosa from Strasbourg.
Yes.
Omuna players they are coming right into the setup.
Yeah. Okay, so we will see how it will go. Obviously, if Hossein Ba definitely best starter, and I'm happy because of even the foundation I will from the Italian league, or there, but then we trying to perform. He's very grounded. Me defender there, I was so we grounded. Defender on say on your G3.
One thing now, more of like David Luiz Mobo.
On your G3, and also height no so now the can say building it says Enzo Fernandez are building, and we are good to go. So Mianfa us in Mrana.
Inti ene me order me call for Inter Milan, any AC Milan. Inter win or draw and 1.5. Arsenal, Crystal Palace. Arsenal win or draw over 2.5. Juventus, any Parma. Juventus win or draw. Florentina, any Cagliari 1.5. Lazio, any Genoa win or draw for Lazio. And a Real Madrid ni Getafe. Real Madrid win. Code no air YTPY. YTPY.
Yeah.
Okay, my daily chops for the day, must start with Parma and Juventus giving double chance for Juventus. Cagliari Calcio any Fiorentina game over 1.5 goals in that game. Genoa any Lazio game and also over 1.5 goals in that game. And Real Madrid Getafe game a straight win for Real Madrid. Deportivo de Alaves any Real Sociedad over 1.5 goals in that game. Code CTPY.
Okay, me so me there na Parma Juventus win or draw. Genoa Lazio away goal. Cagliari Fiorentina away goal. Bilbao Las Palmas win or draw. Celta Vigo Villarreal over 1.5. Genk ne Royal Antwerp. Genk away win or draw. Anderlecht home any Genk Gent. Anderlecht home win or draw. Inter Milan is similar 1.5. Crystal Palace and Arsenal over 1.5. Getafe and Real Madrid win or draw. And Alaves and Real Sociedad away go. Into where media. Nyame aduma yamre ne kopa ochina yebesa aba na ye the Chelsea de no etumi de aba say Chelsea winger omope no Kenan Yildiz. The report in say as your master started conversation. On Bobo pa. Utumi ball left.
Adidas why you to be a Messi.
Yeah.
I'm say Messi 10 youngsters are making Manchester Butu. He was the third player Messi.
Okay, right. Messi so can say Messi month best midfielder we share.
As a Miss Mountain Bobo.
Enti ye nyame adoma ochina ye beba na afi ya be rewra transfers ni muni ade a ya kra mo.
Na be na Mexico.